Okay, now the last form that I'm going to go over is the notice checklist, and this is for the pay or quit. Preparing the notice. It should contain names of all residents on the lease. We just started putting on the kids' names on the lease as kids, so I guess we're gonna have to put that on there as well. It's a question I may want to ask the attorney, but it's better to have more information than less. Must have complete address, including the zip code. Must have the county of the property listed on it. The county of the property does not necessarily match the zip code. For example, some addresses with Denver zip codes are not located in the city and county of Denver. One of those is Littleton. I do know that for a fact. While we will make every effort to verify the county for your property, ultimately we may rely upon the county information provided by us. Now, we can get that property information off the MLS in public records, which you should be able to log into, or you can just go onto your computer and look up the assessor's office for that county or for that address. Service of your notice. The notice will contain an expiration date, usually 10 days. Review your lease for the proper number of default days. You cannot count the day you post the notice. The notice can be hand delivered to the resident. If someone else answers the door and you are not sure who he or she is, you can always just post the notice. After I do that, I always take a timestamp picture with my phone if I was to do it, but I don't do that anymore. I would rather hire that out. You may only personally serve the notice, hand the notice over to any occupant on the premise if that occupant is over the age of 15. So definitely no kids, obviously. If no one answers the door, then serve the notice by posting it on the door. Mailing the notice is not valid service. Okay, monetary evictions, accepting of rent during eviction process. Under Colorado law, you waive the right to evict your tenant for rent if at any time during the eviction process you accept any payments from your tenant. How we've learned to mitigate that is on the lease we say that they can only pay on the portal. Now, if we are going to accept any type of payment, partial payment especially, I want cashier's checks, ideally, because I don't trust them paying on the portal with partial payments, because if it doesn't go through, that's going to cost us more time because it takes time to process those payments online. If it and then you can with that they can drop off the cashier's check to you or to our office, and we have a receptionist. It's 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. If at any time during the eviction process you accept payment from the tenant, please notify us as immediately so we can take appropriate action with in all likelihood means dismissing your case. Non-monetary evictions. The following will provide you with additional information regarding the preparation of compliance notices for non-monetary violations of lease sections. Gather the facts regarding what has happened. Compile and write out the facts in chronological order. Get as much detail as possible. Remember who, what, when, where, and why, and how. Identify the evidence and supporting facts, documents, and witnesses. See photographs. We're on the next page. Determine the availability of your evidence. The step is critical. You must be able to prove your case in court. This means the witnesses must be willing to testify. Written statements from the witnesses are not admissible. Witnesses must be present in court. If witnesses will not testify, you might not have a case. You can talk to them and get the commitment, or we can subpoena their records and testimony as well. Time is very important. You cannot always get information from government agencies without a subpoena. Under court rules, service of these subpoenas must occur usually 48 hours prior to the hearing to give enough time to provide the documents requested. In addition, you also need to give your other witnesses, including police officers, proper notice to compel them to testify. Police officers are difficult to serve. The earlier we can attempt service, the better chance we'll have to obtain proper service. Verify that the resident's conduct is a breach of the lease or violation of the law. In the case of repeated violations, you need to be sure that the resident violated the same provision each time and you have the documents and evidence to support all the violations. In the case of repeated violations, was the previous notice within the last 30 days? If so, we might be able to proceed on this notice. You can also post a notice to quit for a repeat violation. If the conduct is a substantial violation of you, lease, or as defined by statute, then serve a notice to quit for a substantial violation. Now, this is where I really want to also talk to the owners before I do a lot of this. Because we may just want to deal with what we have to deal with as long as they're not hurting the property as well. And then just not, and then this could be reason to not renew their lease, which that's a whole nother topic on the laws about renewing a lease and the notice that you must give if you're not going to renew it. And there's only certain conditions that falls under. Now, if you have any questions, you can contact Shedder. Really, a lot of this I do put on Shedder's shoulders. They're going to ask us. We're going to be talking to them, and each case is always different. So, anyway, thanks for joining me on this, and have a great day.